Hello, I'm Associate Professor Ho Han Kiet, Dean of Students at the NUS Office of Student Affairs. I'm sure prior to NUS, you underwent or have heard of service learning. Here at NUS, we challenge you to immerse yourselves into the community. You can also utilize the knowledge and skills you have learned in your classrooms to execute meaningful and mutually beneficial projects. We hope, as you are engaging communities for your project, you will find the following video helpful. All the best!
Hi, I'm Shamin from the NUS Office of Student Affairs, and I will be bringing you through one of the community engagement pedagogies here in NUS, service learning. Here are the 5 stages of service learning: discovery and partnerships, project management, service implementation, reflections, and demonstration. Let's find out what each of them mean. Hello, Iza.
Hello, Shamin. I'm ready to embark on my own community engagement project today.
Great. Let's begin at the first stage, discovery and partnership. Before entering into a partnership, you can learn about the community through appreciative inquiry, where you identify strengths as the starting point of positive change. This can be done by observing or partaking in community conversations and engaging in ethnographic data gathering. At this stage, you will be able to develop empathy for the community with hope part of it. So what have you found out?
We followed your advice to interact with the community we are interested to work with and recognize their own strengths that will enable us to provide reciprocal, authentic, and meaningful service. This empowers all stakeholders, the one providing and receiving the service, to demonstrate equal power and reciprocity.
When we partner communities, we cannot view them as homogeneous groups. We must remember to consider everyone's perspectives and opinions, even if they have a softer voice in the community. This diversity and nuances of specific needs will begin to surface as you build relationships. Of course, this will require some time and commitment.
But how can we, as students, have time to build solid relationships with our community partners on top of all our school commitments?
Firstly, you can inherit legacy projects which are passed down from one batch of students to another. The initial relationship and trust building has been forged by the seniors, who will also provide a connection between the community partner and the new batch of students when they do a comprehensive handover. The new organizing committee can then work on the foundational guidelines and standards that have been developed to re-evaluate their programs, conduct an expedited needs analysis on the current community's aspirations, and co-design a program operator relevance. This also ensures sustainability in a project as the community continues to be served yearly. Secondly, you can choose to volunteer as a team with your community partners in existing programs to understand the lives of the people that you serve and identify areas where you can value add to the ongoing initiatives. In this process, you are also building trust as it signifies a level of commitment to the potential stakeholders. Lastly, you can work with community partners on skills or knowledge-based projects within an agreed commitment period. Some of these projects can be done without the direct interactions with the community. For example, you can create self-help resources on financial or digital literacy for transit communities, co-develop a social media campaign for an e-fundraising, or create a documentary about wildlife. Here's Sean and his team on their experience of producing a documentary with the Singapore WILDCAT Action Groups, or SWAG for short, to kickstart their Love Our Leopard Cat campaign.
Hi, I'm Anna from the last WILDCAT of Singapore. My group worked with SWAG in order to create a short documentary about the last WILDCAT of Singapore, which is leopard cats. So in the Singapore Red Data Book, leopard cats are listed as critically endangered, and no more than 20 individuals are estimated to be living on mainland Singapore currently. Leopard cats face many issues, such as forest fragmentation, illegal poaching, roadkills, as well as the illegal wildlife trade. To learn more about these issues, we interviewed various stakeholders, such as Designer Bengal Singapore, Acres, SWAG themselves, and our local leopard cat researcher, Marcus Straub. We created the documentary to be screened in NUS for students as well as visitors. The event was live streamed, and then afterwards we posted that onto YouTube as well as with documentary in order to reach a wider audience so that more people can learn about leopard cats so as to work towards their conservation.
We've worked closely with them and we've actually had members of SWAG in our team to help us with some of the coordination and understanding. So in this case, Kelly, she was a master's student doing anthropology, and she actually had quite good knowledge about some of the issues facing the wildcat, so she managed to share that with us. And of course, they had contacts in terms of Marcus, who was a wildcat expert, of course. In doing so, we worked very closely with them through like the publicity and to be able to form this image and understanding of what are the issues facing our lost wildcat. And being environmental studies students, of course, we had certain understanding of the environmental issues in Singapore, and we also used that to help us to frame this entire documentary as well.
Hi, I'm Wei Yang, and I'm from the Last WILDCAT of Singapore. Creating this video really pushed us out of our comfort zone. For one, it was the first time all of us had filmed an interview. While we thought we had it all planned out, when we met our first interviewee, who was Marcus, our leopard cat researcher, it was extremely nerve-wracking. But through the interviews with the different stakeholders, including a Bengal cat breeder, it really helped us to guide the flow of our storyline and introduce unique perspectives. Other than the interviews, we also spent a lot of time filming our main characters, the leopard cats. I think in total we spent about 3 nights at the night safari, and most of the time was spent waiting for the leopard cats because they were not always cooperative. But the patience pays off because when one of them finally emerged and paced down the log bridge over the artificial stream, getting that shot really was one of the highlights of the entire process. And it really shows off the beauty of the animal that we're trying to protect. So we weren't expecting a whole lot of views and audience engagement. In fact, in our proposal, we predicted our outreach would be about 100 people. But in the end, the video really surpassed our very conservative estimate. So since posting our video on YouTube, it has reached 13,000 views and was even picked up by local media. But personally, I think the most heartening thing to me was that this documentary managed to reach an audience beyond just people in the nature and conservation scene. I had one friend who sent me a screenshot of a friend who reposted the video, and he was just professing their newfound love for leopard cats. And to me, this represented the impact that our documentary had on the average person, and it made me very happy to be able to reach members of the general public.
Next in Discovery, you can offer your interests, skills, or talents which may be related to your course of study to your community partners. By mobilizing your disciplinary perspectives and learning from the classroom to suppose ideas and plans, you will realize how powerful and meaningful the academics are for the good of the community. Here's Nicky and his team on how they use their engineering knowledge to promote active aging in seniors by creating a fun and innovative game with the Sri Narayana Mission Home.
So Project TINKERTHINGS started off during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, when institutionalized care facilities closed all of their compounds to volunteers to come in physically to engage and interact with the seniors. So as such, we decided to work with the nursing home and the staff there closely in coming up with virtual engagement activities in which would allow the seniors and volunteers to engage meaningfully in such situations. So we came up with starting off with a pen pal program where seniors and the volunteers were able to interact with each other through letter writing. And after that, we started to branch off to activities which involve technology and devices that we created based on the belief in which that tactile engagement is something that would meaningfully engage seniors and the nurses together with the volunteers in activities in these trying times. Engineering skills were a huge and crucial part of our activities. We used design thinking, something we learned in our engineering modules, and applied a very human-centric approach towards coming up with the activities and even crafting the user experience behind the devices that we build. And engineering, definitely the hard skills come in where we have to build the prototypes and devices to be able to operate and work in conditions of the nursing home, with us probably managing at the side or not being directly involved in it.
Given the success we had through the engagement, we could develop and diversify the activities to include tactile games and allow nurses to be more involved in integrating the activities into their routine. The elder care sector requires constant innovation and adaptation to engage our seniors cognitively and physically. Our work has been able to achieve this at an institutional level with Sri Narayana Mission Home. For the next step for TinkerThings, so we would also like to inspire like-minded individuals to continue this meaningful project with more software games that include physical activities. With deeper understanding of seniors and methods to engage them meaningfully, we can apply it into more advocacy work.